I have been yapping away here and I haven't pressed the live button. That's right. I have been yapping away. I have been yapping away and I hadn't pressed the live button. You just missed all my jokes. I went, why is no one talking to me? Why is there no reaction? That's because I hadn't pressed the button. The big red button. Had to giggle because you got my nickname. Oh, I made a pot of tea and some snacks. My joy when I listen to Jo and her beautiful wife, it makes it easier to deal with all the KJ stuff. I heard about that. Yes, there was some. Oh boy! So there's no music or anything because I did all that. I did the countdown and everything. I even said hello to everybody. I don't suppose you heard me say your names, so I apologise. So hello everybody. So they decided to do some maintenance work on the internet connection outside, and they did that at midnight, which is why I lost my connection. All right, so I'm just trying to work out where I'm going to start because we've got lots to do because Amanda Pants is pretty fired up. Actually, I might just share her community tab. Let's start with that first to give you some context as to what's happened. So this is what Amanda Pants has shared. She says, I started this platform to tell my story to help others, whether it be support, inspiration, motivate, educate, break stereotypes, break stigmas. Recently, last night to be exact, I have been offended on such a level that I cannot sit back and be silent. I have laid in bed away from my phone for hours trying to cool off by the blatant disregard and harmful information a creator was saying. I was going to leave it. I was going to ignore it. However, this pit I feel is not going to go away until I speak my truth, my mind, and educate many of the things that motivated me to make my first video. With that being said, it's not going to be like other streams. Fair warning, I'm likely to offend, upset some. I'm sorry in advance. If you're new here, I'm sorry. This is an experience you'll have, and I hope you understand and stick around. But if not, I've enjoyed everyone for the amount of time and support you've given me. I'm honoured. The grace is gone. The respect is gone. Tomorrow I will be live. I don't know the exact time. Just feel I need to preface with this statement before things get rough, raw, and real. So that was, hi Michelle, hi Bo. That was Amanda Pants' reaction to the live. So she did 2 lives. She did one on Instagram. She did one on YouTube. They're both pretty yucky and both pretty nasty. What one would you like to see is the one that I'd like, is what I'm going to ask you. Which one would you like to see? Do you have a preference? And the story does change too as well. What are you thinking about that? I did say that there was. Can I turn slow mode off? Okay, I'll turn slow mode off. Oh, my mods want everything, don't they? It's just I can handle it at the moment on slow mode. Jo, why is slow mode on? Because I put it on. That's why slow mode's on. So, Julie, you want to see the Instagram, Julianne? Okay. I didn't do all of the... I have to say... Well, yeah, we are needy. Some people are just not happy. Mr. Editor, aren't you able to do this? I caught Amanda Pants. She was not very happy. Yeah, she was. Well, I don't think she's going to be happy. Okay, so I'm happy to show the Instagram live. I actually missed the end because I actually finished the stream before the stream finished because I was actually so disgusted. I actually had to walk away for a bit. And then no sooner had I got myself composed than she went and did the exact same thing again on YouTube. And she made it members only, so nobody could criticize her. So I'm just trying to get slow mode up, to turn off slow mode. So just give me a moment, because, you know, you'll be telling me soon that you want slow mode back on. Hello, Dee. Hello there, Amber Chick. How are you going? So let's have it. So first of all, let's have a look at the Saltzy stuff. But that's, yes, so I should have turned it off. It should have gone now. So Saltzy says, it's one thing for the FBI to assign a few agents to investigate death threats involving children, but it's entirely another thing when the FBI elevates the investigation to a hate crime, which makes it eligible for task force. Thank you. Mein Kampf only gets 1 star. And this was the thing. Wonder if this Jew is sending, you know what, to himself to make himself look like the hero. He is a Jewish pig after all the Nazis should have killed when they had the chance. He says, thank you for the additional evidence sent to my Instagram account to help with the investigation. Then he says, no, you could default to 20 seconds to be fun. Okay, Rick. You know, well, with internet issues, Michelle K. Hello, Michelle. Then he says, PSA, if you find that your actions inspire, encourage, or are the common denominator associated with this type of behavior, you should check yourself. If you find that you're supporting such a person, people, or their businesses, you need some checking too. Hello, Diamond Crystal Arts. So that's why I'm saying he's thrown some shade. That was some Saltzy shade. Now I have some thoughts on that. I have some thoughts on this. I'm actually wondering, based on all of this, based on what he's just filed here, whether there is actually going to be a refiling. I'm not sure, because if there was a refiling, the first thing Katie Joy will talk about is Twitter. And she'll say she's getting bullied and harassed on Twitter. When do you think they'll refile? Well, I'm not sure that, I mean, I don't know. Either Saltzy's playing a really clever game and he's trying to draw them out, or he's not going to refile. Because you remember rightly, he got in trouble. He got in trouble in Washington, in the Washington court, for the implication that it could have been the defendants. So I'm really wondering whether, with this shade that he's throwing, whether there's no refiling. Just my thoughts, just my opinions, because if he's going to take it if he was going to refile, I don't think he'd be giving them ammunition, because that's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to go in and say, in their defence, they're going to file motion to dismiss due to Twitter harassment or something like that. But yeah, I don't think they're going to refile. Is Saltzy going to refile? I don't know that you can do refile criminal charges, but the FBI can. Oops. Did you see that Erin had emails sent to her? Yes, she did have emails sent to her, and they were pretty yucky as well. You can do it. That's true, no active case. But if the case becomes active, she's going to use all of this against him, like she did before. Is it? I don't know. As I said, it's just what I think. I could wake up tomorrow and find that there's been a refiling, and you can all tell me that I was wrong, and I'd be more than happy with that. Because I'm not a lawyer, I don't know how it all works. I'm just giving opinions. So this is what my opinion has been. Or Taddy doesn't use salts. That could be the other thing. She might not be using him. So I've decided, Rick, that if KJ pops in, you're going to have to. She's going to be sent to your corner, and you're going to have to have a chat to her. Good old Aussie NBN fails again. Oh yes, well I had that issue last night. Diamond Crystal Arts, yes. Yeah, but there's been a lot of issues, especially with the flooding. But yes, the corner is awesome now. I've got a bunch of custom bags and backlight. But that's all about the hackers. Correct. But you could say that the inference, she could use that and say that he was targeting her. I'm not saying that's right. We've seen how her mind works. We've had a taste of it. True, but she can try right now both private citizens in case. Correct, Jennifer. But we know how she plays. Rick, oh geez. Sorry, Rick. We had no net on and off for a week. Yes, and Brisbane is in a 3-day lock. Brisbane's just started a 3-day lockdown. So they had, they've got 7 active cases at the moment. So they're doing a 3-day circuit breaker lockdown. So I'm not sure if Gail's affected, but Gail, if you're watching this and you're affected, they're thinking of you. But yeah, so there's, and I think for Australia now, when we do get multiple cases like that, I think they're just gonna do a short lockdown and try and get it under control. Was not today a bit more about Todd, my life, or Mein Kampf? Probably Mein Kampf. Yeah, I think it was that. I know. I actually went and bought a mobile. I went and bought a mobile broadband thing that holds 6 devices, so that I've always got internet. Because either that or they're waiting on a report. Yes, I mean, we know that if it is traced back to them, that probably the FBI will file charges. But I don't want to speculate. But what I think is really interesting is Saltzy's gone out of his way to state that it's not that, and low ballistic. Yes. So I know that there's a whole lot of people out there that are still convinced it's not, but it seems to be that what we know is not her. Saltz posted a screenshot of a Facebook message and that got apparently 13 hours before a surprise defence and said new filings today, but it wasn't dated except for a weekday and we have to account. Yes, that's right. I want to speculate. We're trying to speculate whether Saltzy is going to refile based on the fact he cast some shade and probably has over who the hackers were or who they're linked to. Because he said about the fact that he gave Mein Kampf a 1-star rating. Those tweets were horrific. The ones that were sent to him, yes. Have fibre to the house. You got fibre to the house? Oh, that's not fair, Michelle. I've only got it to the curb. That's not fair. Or fibre to the node, as they call it. I've only got fibre to the curb. I had a look at filings from the day of the week or the next, and it seems to be either Brown's filing where he dumped all the emails 43 or the motion to qualify counsel. Interesting. So it was so unprofessional, even if it's not the case. He's part of it, bad taste. Says Rick. Maybe it's, I don't know, but they were the ones that made more sense. Yes. I wonder if EDB got threats. I believe she has got threats. I don't know whether she's had them recently, but she got threats initially. So yeah. All right. I don't have fibre to my house. Oh, don't rub it in. All of us hicks and you've got fibre to, oh, not what? All the hicks got fibre to the house. I couldn't get fibre to the street. Oh, and I've only like had it for a couple of months too. FTTN it's called. Oh, you love the Sass ballistic. I thought you'd love the Sass. I thought you would. Some people do, some people don't. My neighbour has FTTP. I have the wiring, but FTT. Oh, that's bizarre, isn't it? Plan to create. So should leave his speculations. Professionals investigating instead of throwing out accusations on Twitter. In your opinion, yes. But yeah, but that's what's happened. So, all right. So here's the Instagram live. So it does cut off halfway through. Hello, Harmony. How are you? Yeah. Cool. I don't have fibre to the house. Don't only curb to had it for a few years now, but even in a couple of cities, we are in a. Oh, I hate that. Well, where I used, because I moved in June. I'm where I am in June. But where I used to live was classed as an older area, and we didn't get that until I think April last year. Michelle says, my kids won't let me move. We're one of the first in Australia, so like test life, but we have awesome speeds. And Adelaide and our suburbs is of all people, no business. Oh, wow. I'm even more jealous. All right, here we go. So this is the Instagram live, okay? So this will cut out because I actually stopped recording in absolute disgust. Please be aware that this talks about issues of adoption. There's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of misinformation. What I want to just make things, what I want to make clear is, tonight I don't want to cast any judgment on the family that she talks about. So essentially, the long and the short is of the story, from what I understand, is this couple adopted a child. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked, and the child needs to go to a new home. So KJ has seen this story and has jumped on it and has compared it to the Micah Stuffer situation. What has happened is that on her Instagram, she has shown the Facebook page of the husband, who has since had his Facebook page spammed with messages from people of threats. I have been told, I was talking to somebody who said that they know the family and they said that they're actually bunkering down. They had no idea who KJ was. So she makes a lot of accusations, and there's a lot of false information, and which is why Manda Pants is so angry, because if you know Manda Pants' story, she was a foster child. She was in the she was in the system. She actually was adopted, and she worked for the CPS for a while. So we know that when KJ gets giddy with excitement about something, she goes too far. And in my opinion, she's overstepped the mark here. So this is going to be very messy and very yucky. Is it a public family or a private family? Totally clueless. I believe it is a private family. She's actually found a post on somebody's Facebook page. From what I can work out, the person's only crime is that they wrote their story on Facebook. I also have to tell you that they are a Christian family and they have 8 children of their own, and this makes the 9th. I haven't looked into it. But I just think that they're being unfairly targeted, in my opinion. So let's have a look and see. And just, yeah, I just need to warn you, okay? Because if you need to vent, please do. She went as far as tagging her Instagram post as child trafficking. Yes, she did. She tagged her post as child trafficking. She's also made allegations that the adoption was under the table and was illegal. But I've been told by people that I was told that unless it goes through the courts, it's not adoption. So as soon as she saw anything about being Christian, she would have decided to target them. So they live in a small town. Anyway, so I'm just putting it up there because it could get a bit uncomfortable for you all, okay? Because I know that it's so. I'm trying to treat this with sensitivity. But please, if you need to vent, please do. We will give you some leeway. Like, you know, my one rule is be respectful. But you know, if you need to vent, please do. The mods will give you some leeway to vent.
Just wait for a second because my goodness, am I?
But yeah, she's trying out. She's working on filters, by the way.
Oh, look at these.
I got a pause on that one. That's my favorite. Do we know how she knew them? Facebook. Leeway to vent given. Yes, that's one. Yes, keep that one. I know. Serious topic, and she's worried about filters. Someone mentioned to her this was about religion. She responded, it was not about religion, it was about fundies. Yes, she did say that. But I don't know whether it was this one or the other one. Yeah. No, that's my favourite filter. Yeah. We know this is a safe place to vent, says Pierre. Yep, that's fine. And as I said, the mods will give you leeway to vent. So, yeah.
What's going on here? Ridiculous filter. What is happening here? Okay.
She did say it was a ridiculous filter. So she did admit that.
Hello. All right, I have my favorite filter. So I can't stop thinking about this adoption lady. It's driving me bonkers. I feel like I cannot stop thinking about this. I am so bothered.
Oh, look, someone's written here, do you have a diagnosed mental illness? Someone has asked that. I don't know whether, well, she will tell you that she got a message from a subscriber about them, and then later on she'll tell you that she found them. So I can't give you that answer, Michelle. Now, what's interesting is in the YouTube video, Todd's banging a whole pile of stuff behind her. I don't think he was very happy she was live either, by the way. We'll see how we go with time. If we've got enough time, we'll watch both of them, but she essentially covers the same stuff
that I've been looking at. And I am so just trying so hard to wrap my mind around.
Yeah, because I scrolled back up because I went, she's left that comment there. So what's happened is that because she blasted this woman's blog, her Facebook, and something else all over her Instagram and Facebook pages, the person who involved took them all down. So everyone's saying, we can't find the link. We can't find the link.
Why anyone would use Facebook to do that kind of thing. I'm imagining this whole thing. So if you have not paid attention, one of my subscribers sent me a, I'll tell you how this story happened.
So now she starts off by saying one of my subscribers, and then she'll say later on, I caught it before she deleted it. So as if she was, yeah, anyway.
Okay. So earlier today, I get this message from, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And they're like, this is the post that's being shared. This mom is in like South Dakota or something, and she's like put up this post of how she wants to find someone to adopt a child that she literally just adopted. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the profile that, yeah, rehome.
Someone says, it seems as if my horse is constipated, which is ignoring it.
The profile on Facebook, and it's this long post. Let me show you. From this woman named Heather. And it's like, this was written not in order to give up on our son. In fact, it's completely opposite. As much as he is our son, he is God's son, and we want the best for him. Please know that this is the hardest letter I've ever have to write, but looking out for the betterment of Noah's future is my job as his mom, and as his mom, I know this is what I need to do. Please take the time to read this, and if you know someone who's being called to adopt, please share. We are forever grateful for the support and encouragement we have been receiving. We are coveting your prayers as we walk through this incredibly different time.
So everyone here is saying that her Facebook and Instagram are down. Hello, SC Johnson, how are you? So what they're for whatever reason, they're not able to look after this boy for whatever reason that is, and so they need to find a new family for him. So I said I don't want to judge them because I don't know. So my stream is a little behind. I'm just getting to the point of you talking about adoption. I was adopted after 10 years in CPS. Yeah. So I'm not wanting to make judgment with this lady. I couldn't imagine the anguish and the pain that she'd be going through, that I'd be going through to make that decision. So, but you're going to see this reaction.
Time. And it went up to this like blog, which I'm not going to share. A lot of you guys have asked for the story, and I purposely like left off the link to the blog because it had very graphic details about what this little boy has gone through. And I just didn't feel like it was at all appropriate to air that out. And
it's not appropriate to air it out, but you're going to air it on here. Right. Okay.
Kept trying to share the link to the blog, and I was like, I don't want to air this out. It feels really violating, and it just feels really disrespectful, and it's just...
But you're going to disrespect everybody. Now, never judge until you've walked in a mile in another's shoe. And then not only, once you finish on here, on Instagram, you decide that you've got enough people that are interested that you'll go to YouTube and make money off it.
I'm not okay with that. The public post didn't have anything overwhelming in it. It didn't have anything about the kid that was like gonna embarrass him, but he's like 10, right? So I'm like, I don't want him to go online and see this kind of stuff. And people kept trying to like post the link over and over and over again. And
None of us knows about the situation. I should be judging them. That's right.
And it had really tough stuff. And I was like, I kept deleting it and deleting it, deleting it. So this was her. So here's the story. So I did some Googling, and I found.
You did some Googling. So someone's saying your lashes are good. I don't know. She's got a filter on that does something to her eye. This is the stuff a Huxley case with, is that she got lots of subs, etc. over, and the channel blew up with that. This is a random family, not media. Yeah, this is a random family ballistic. Would she prefer them keep the child and something happen? Well, that's my thing, Jennifer.
But this girl, this woman, is like, it says this Echo family, which is in Minnesota. So it's like right on the border of Minnesota and South Dakota. It says that their by faith hopes to adopt a 6-year-old boy from Missouri. So the story is basically that they find out from a friend. So this was like a few years ago. It says we already had 5 kids, but I had just gotten through a high-risk pregnancy. Also, we didn't have a vehicle that would fit all of these children. And then a friend donated a red van, and they offered it to us. And then, so they bring the kid home, I guess, and it's like 2 brothers. And it's like one kid is named Isaiah, one kid is named Noah. And they bring both of the kids home. Apparently, they did this exchange the same way. It was like under the table. So they did an unregulated.
So she's saying it's an unregulated adoption, which I've been told by several people that it can't be called adoption if it was like that. And from what I've been able to work out, everything was done above board. And then she contradicts herself later on anyway when she talks about courts and papers and lawyers. So, you know. Misik, yes, love that people are being judgmental because we don't know. The only person that I'm judging at the moment is Katie Joy. I'm sorry, because I'm really not very happy with her.
Adoption for this child. And she says that she finds out about the kid through a friend who says, like, I have someone that needs a home, and they decide to take him. And as soon as they get the boys there, then apparently they say that the people tell them that the boys need to be separated. And the one boy has more problems than the other boy. And so they keep Noah, but they let Isaiah be adopted by one of her friends. So
she's saying the people. So I'm assuming she's saying like CPS or whoever's responsible. So therefore it can't be under the table. She always trying to break a story first for large views. She thinks she's live on 5 News. Yeah. Well, I think her Instagram was her tester. She wanted to see what type of reaction she got. And when everybody was like going for it, then she went onto YouTube. That's my feeling of it. A wild toad appears. Oh, Rick, that's funny.
So the poor kids are like trapped all over the place. They were in Minnesota, and I figured this out because I looked at the laws.
Okay, she figured it out because she looked at the laws. Michelle says, not sure if anyone mentioned it, but the father is a chaplain in the police force. I hadn't mentioned it, but yes, that's what he does. And she doxed his, she put his Facebook page all over her Instagram. And as I said, I'm not showing you her Instagram because I don't think that it's fair. I find disgusting. She's focused on an innocent private family while ignoring the Minnesota Supreme Court just ruled intoxicated people ineligible for the more serious charge. Advocate, no.
There is no link. There's literally no link anymore. Like she's removed everything, so you can't find the link anymore. So she ends up, the posts are now deleted. So the sharing was on my Facebook page. So she says that they like need money to adopt him because it's like expensive or something, which makes like, So they're like,
hang on. Is she talking about now or then? Maybe it's then. Perhaps, yeah.
Website where people can donate money to the cause of adopting Noah. The link is in her Facebook profile. We're looking towards doing fundraisers, and we'll see how this one goes. So they do this like article, and they like do this whole thing like we're godly people and we're going to adopt them because we love him. And they talk about, there's a whole video that they make about his adoption, like right as they're about to adopt him, about how he wants to call them mommy and daddy and how like attached he is to the dad. And it's like, it's a lot, right? And so apparently,
someone says your husband is hot. And then someone else says adoption costs money from what I've heard. Anyone who remembers the Stuffer case and Hutzy that they rehomed, there are groups that rehome children through the solicitors. They are on private Facebook pages, invite only to keep talkers like KJ off them. Which I don't know how she did it, Drill Land. Did she infiltrate another group again? I don't know. Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it. I was just thinking how it shows she doesn't really care who she picks on. But that's all right. Well, this is a new low for KJ. How much lower can she get? Todd is always trying to get airtime. Haha, we see you, Todd. Yeah, well, he bangs stuff around during the YouTube live. Someone needs Specsavers. I think you'll find it's somebody that was given. So there's certain somebody on Twitter says that gives a phrase when KJ goes live, and people try and put the phrase in. I think that's one of those. All right.
They're like in, it's apparently like, I'm sure they had to buy like, they had to do lawyers and like home studies and stuff.
So if they've had to do lawyers and home study and stuff, then it's not an under a table adoption. Why would you do an under table adoption and use lawyers and home studies? Home studies would not occur if it was under the table, as you just said. Ugh.
But I was looking at why they might have moved to South Dakota, and here's what I found. So the state of Minnesota, if you do an unregulated adoption, this is how it works. They don't allow you to do a transfer of custody through a power of attorney, which is what it sounds like.
Then she's gone back and said it's unregulated again. Can someone explain to me how you can do an unregulated adoption through a lawyer? Lawyer fees and court fees are expensive. Yes, Fernando. Every time I see your name, Fernando, I just want to burst into ABBA. There was something in the air that night that shines so bright, Fernando. I don't think she knows what the word unregulated means, says Rick. Right. But she said it twice now. But yeah.
Sounds like this mother did. So it sounds like they went down to Missouri, they got this kid, and then they brought them back home under a power of attorney, meaning they like just met this family, and the family like handed over custody to these parents. Weird. Who already had 6 kids. Weird.
Well, that's what I was wondering, Papa said, whether they actually were guardians, and there was never ever like they were guardians in the sense of the state, but not official adoption, if that makes sense. But I don't know. Why should be researching adopting children in Minnesota? I don't know, Peter. Totally different to our system. I bet you it is. It's probably very complicated, Michelle. But I did wonder whether it was with the lawyer, whether it was just a paperwork to give them legal guardiancy rather than adoption, and they're not really adopted. I don't know. 6 kids weird, whatever KJ. See, she doesn't like big families. KJ researching Saltzy Google search. Oh, you haven't heard anything yet, Rick.
And then they bring the kids there. But in the state of Minnesota, you can only have a child under these types of agreements for 1 year. And it's designed to be temporary. And then after a year, you have to figure out what you're going to do. You either have to adopt them or you have to return the child home. So then they decide they're going to adopt him. And then at some point during this time, they move from Minnesota to right on the border on the other side of the state lines to South Dakota. And it could be that South Dakota has less restrictions for adoption. I don't know. But I was looking at the adoption laws in the state of South Dakota.
That's I'm thinking Poppy Seeds that this is something similar, but it wouldn't be. I don't know that it's officially. I don't know. It'd be like letting your kids live with their grandparents and all the kids' benefits get paid out to the grandparents rather than the parents. Yes. KJ is jealous of happy families with 6 kids, says Rick. Peter, at least she would know her holes if you gave her the talk. True. Except in this case, it's random Facebook search. Yes. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe it was more of a guardianship than a proper adoption, but I'm only basing it on what KJ is saying.
And in the state of South Dakota, you can't do the only way that you can give up your rights is you can't. So it says usually a judge will not allow you to terminate your rights, even if you're the legal guardian, and you can't give them up just to avoid a behavioral problem. So you can't just like hand your child over to the state because they have a behavioral issue.
So does that mean you feel you're not able to? Anyway. Oh, I'm confused now.
Behavioral issue. So, well, she has like a YouTube channel. She has an Instagram. She's trying very hard to be like Instagram, YouTube famous because they have like family vlogging channel.
So that person said the website said Nevada. Is that correct? Nevada's not in South Dakota, is it? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a Nevada in South Dakota? Please help me because my geography is not very good. Because it did say Nevada. And somebody else has picked that up too. Let's see if I can get it back up. In Nevada. Is that in South Dakota? If you've never experienced this, how can you talk about it? I mean, I can do a lot with Google. Sure, both okay. First research, it's up the first sentence that come up and then there, correct. Does anyone else who has more than one child feel she shouldn't comment? I do. No, so there's no Nevada in South Dakota. So does that mean she's been looking up the wrong law? Nevada is a state? Okay. So what's she talking about then? What you talking about, KJ? In Nevada. So then is she now looking up the incorrect law? I'm from Nebraska. They set up a safe harbour law where you could drop a child off at a hospital and they forget to put a maximum age. People are coming from everywhere to drop kids. They finally closed the loophole. Yeah. Yes, she's confusing terms, says Sarah Logstone. That's right. Yes, it's the state. She's ignorant. Right. Thank you. Right. So I do know something about the US then, because, and she's talking about South Dakota, and she's saying these are the laws in South Dakota, but she's got Nevada up.
Your child over to the state because they have a behavioral issue. So,
and then someone says, who are you talking about? Just a woman in Minnesota, no one famous. That's my answer. If you were to ask me who are we talking about, just say just the woman in Minnesota, no one famous. Nevada is not in South Dakota. You're way different. Okay, so Rick, you've got to give her a geography lesson too. She's not the brightest girl. The two states are separated by a 19-hour drive at that. Had to Google it. She's way off. Right, so she's now making judgments on a law that is incorrect because she's Googled, she's got the wrong state up. So, of course, everything that she's going to say. Why does she look like she's smoking, mate? It's funny, Fernando. Somebody else has said the same thing. China is not in South Dakota. Oh, I'm so ready to find something to bring my. I think she's on a different planet. You can see why my confusion, because I'm going, hang on, Nevada. She's talking about South Dakota, but she's got something on there about Nevada laws. She's talking about abandoning a child to the state due to behavioural issues versus giving up a child to private adoption. Two very different things. Correct, Bo Roundtree. Why not? She learned from her lawyer who filed responses in Washington case using California law. Well, that's true too, Jennifer. I said that too, Fernando. She looks like a chemo patient. How many fingers can you fit in South Dakota? It's a real question. But it says, without a crystal troll, the planet... Yes.
Well, she has like a YouTube channel. She has an Instagram.
No, she's not there.
Trying very hard to be like Instagram, YouTube famous because they have like family vlogging channel. They do TikToks. They're trying to do like, it reminds me a lot of like what Carissa Collins does.
So she's trying to compare it to Carissa Collins. I'm Australian, even I know Nevada is nowhere near Dakota. Hey, I wasn't sure, but I don't ever like to make assumptions, so I always put my things. I always ask questions because that way I get the right answer. So Minnesota is not Mars. I don't know. Obviously, this is all a murderous conspiracy that is a monument to the gods of speculation. Yes, that's right. Oh dear.
Sorry, that was just a general one. I can show you to South Dakota.
Well, now she's showing South Dakota. That was a general one she was saying. This is South Dakota. But this is about home study. Oh, but Nevada is where a lot of movies are shot to make it look like Mars. But she said before about about the rules in South Dakota, and then she didn't say, oh, this is a general one. Didn't KJ herself try to family vlog and TikTok? Yes, she did. Scarlett 2023. Hello, Scarlett 2023.
South Dakota. Like a home study is required in South Dakota. They also have like different agencies that you have to go to. You have to use adoption, a facilitator, a lawyer. There's a lot of steps you have to take in South Dakota, but what you can't do in the state of California, South Dakota, is you can't do a...
She keeps trying to say California. Without a conscious thought strikes again. I want to know how Rick feels knowing he shares a state with KJ. I'm thinking of changing my thesis to KJ. I reckon it'd be a really good thesis. You're laughing so hard. Oh, hello, Jean. We were wondering if you were around. Welcome.
of attorney. The only way that you can do a power of attorney transfer is if you're a deploying parent. So you can only sign over power of attorney in the state of South Dakota if you're in the military and you're deploying and someone else needs to like take custody while you're gone. Otherwise, in the state of South Dakota, they don't allow power of attorney transfers. So I don't know how they're trying to do this, but in the state of Minnesota,
she did this first. Jane, is she doing this on Instagram? She go over to YouTube channel that she charges people. So she did this one. I think this was her test run. Then she went to YouTube and charged people. I think she got 3 new members. Okay. How do people in Minnesota feel? Well, the person that she's just given all the information, and all the people are being harassed in Minnesota too. It's too cold to feel anything.
You can only do it for 1 year. In South Dakota, they only allow the power of attorney transfer unless you have you're in the military, and it doesn't appear that they're in the military. So I don't know how they're going to plan to do this. If they're just going to like find someone that wants to adopt them and just say, well, now we found them, so then we can voluntarily give the child up.
I haven't spoken to them yet, Jean. I needed to. I'm going to be in trouble because I haven't spoken to Harrison today. So I'll be speaking to him tomorrow. I'll tell him the jokes tomorrow.
Because most states won't just allow you to surrender a child just because you don't want to deal with them. You have to like deal with the kids that you're brought on. So I am then starting to look through, I looked through so many different adoption laws, but I was looking at her like Facebook, and it's like they've been doing things to try to get attention for a really long time.
Doing things to try and get attention for a very long time. Like somebody else I know. Harmony does say up here, she says, so research this case. KJ is so wrong about this story altogether. I did a very quick look, and none of it seems to add up either. But I did, in one of the streams, in EKC People Suck stream, or Erin, there was one of the people in there said that they were a family friend, and I said that I'd send the videos to them, which I have. But they said they said that they'd been in touch with the family, and the family was devastated. And one reason why I'm not showing the Instagram is that I don't want any more of their private information out. I couldn't get it all out on the videos, so we just have to deal with that. But I really want to put this out there to say that this is wrong. And if you're a KJ supporter at all, please look up the case and do your own research on this, because what she's saying here is not correct.
They've been doing these runs, and she's like, oh, we're going to do the 30 for freedom. And she has like one of her sons being interviewed by the news. They have the article that's published. She sells Plexus.
I reported her doxing posts. I believe a lot of people reported her posts. I was told that Facebook was a lot worse than Instagram. I hope the kids are safe and aren't at risk due to KJ's actions, or the family the family's just sort of laying low at the moment, is what I've heard. I feel bad for this family. No one should dig into their personal affairs, especially ones which concern children. So for those of you just coming in, I've stated that if you need to vent, that this is a safe space to vent. We're going to give you space to do that. So if you need to let stuff out, please do. Yeah, we've only got 11 minutes of this one. I only got, as I said, I didn't even catch the end. And then we might flick over to the YouTube one. when do you sit at home and go, gee, I was in a massive lawsuit. Let's just go after somebody else. Lovely viewers. Yeah. I'd never sit and go through someone's pictures that I don't know, let alone lift and post pictures of the family elsewhere. I would agree with that. Do you think she's untouchable now? Oh, you don't want me to vent, Joe. You'd be demonetized. You know what, Ballistic? That doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. She's certain about that. I wonder if she's tried finding out how sick her son was. It's totally clueless.
She does all of this kind of stuff. Like, this is why I feel like it feels like Carissa Collinsworth, because she does these, like, you know, they're like, they have the crew, like the Gnifsky crew or whatever. The dad is a chaplain for the local police department. I don't understand. This child was seemingly fine for a long time. And even like, she like writes this whole thing in December where she's talking about how, you know, he came into their lives and she really loves him. And, you know, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it felt like when she needed to use him for sympathy or for money, she used him. But then when he didn't work, like, as of December.
Who else uses their son for sympathy and money? What's underneath here, it says, from day one, we have heard over and over and over again, they've not seen anything like this before. In regards to the situation, he's gone through, the way the adoption, he was never in foster care or in the system. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I was sort of saying she might get another visit from the sheriff, and the sheriff's going to tell her to lay off. So I don't know. She was 20 weeks pregnant with her own child. We were asked to watch him for a period of time to help out. We didn't even know who the birth mum was. Some private person, Jean. He has an incredible need to be a hero. So much she victimizes people. And it says, after a year of living with us, his birth mum asked if we could adopt him. We said yes, but then there's been lots of problems. Yes. Well, we're into Monday. We're just about finishing Monday here. The chaplain of the police department is powerful for you. Never diss the chaplain. He's the one who got abused of jail. Wow. Katie needs to stay in the lane. She knows nothing about these laws. She knows nothing about this family law. She's making this out to be a lot worse than it is. They're doing it legally. That's my point, Harmony. I believe it's been done legally. And that whoever needs to know knows about it. It's not as if it's been done, it's been hidden.
December, as of like right before she gave birth to her last baby, she was like, I'm adopted, Mom. I love this. Yeah, she sells Plexus. She's massively into Plexus. So I'll show you. She like used the adoption to like get money for Plexus. Like, oh, we adopted our sweet child. Oh, it's so sweet. Like, as a way to get like attention and like sympathy for like, it's just, and she's like on her Facebook, like bragging about getting a BMW or it's an Audi. It's like an older Audi convertible. Like, she's so proud of this that she got through Plexus.
She goes, it's an older Audi convertible. That's right. She's about to tell you that she's about to state that her husband lays down the law on one thing.
It's just really sad. Like, and the hard part of this, Plexus is nothing. It's a multi-level marketing crappy drink that people say like fixes everything, and it fixes nothing. So all I could tell from all of this is 5 years ago, she gets a call from a friend who has a kid that needs help. And she says, sure, I'll go meet them. They bring the kid home. They take the kid in after having 6 of their own children. Then they take the brother in with him. They get rid of the brother and says that they have to be separated. And the brother has...
I hate that term. They got rid of the brother. It was not got rid of the brother. They were recommended. The people who did the case assessment recommended that they be separated. I don't know what the reasons were, but you can't say they got rid. That is just foul. Sorry to drop out of this angry phone. Yes, I know. You change all the time. He may not have settled in with them, especially if you can't cope with something. Well, that's true. I mean, instead of the child saying, let me just play it again. Oh, this made me so angry.
Is 5 years ago, she gets a call from a friend who has a kid that needs help. And she says, sure, I'll go meet them. They bring the kid home. They take the kid in after having 6 of their own children. Then they take the brother in with him. They get rid of the brother and says that they have to be separated. And the brother has too high of needs. So she was aware that the children had needs before.
Oh, the word get rid. Oh, get rid. No. It was recommended that they be separated. I don't know. I you know. Why? I don't know. And I don't care. But you don't use the word get rid when you're talking about children. These are people. See, I'm the one that's going to be venting in a minute. I'm the one that's going to be yelling. I'll be the one that will be yelling. The mods will be having to time me out.
Even adopted them. And I don't know who the family is that gave the children up. There's like no discussion about who this mother is. They talk about how like the mother came back a year later and they just decided to just like give them the rights of the child. Like this family was strangers to them and then they just took them. They didn't go through any proper channels. They didn't do fostering. They didn't do foster to adopt. It sounds like they did a power of attorney. And this is why we need laws. This is why we need laws, federal laws, regulating adoption. So
now she's starting on her advocacy. Another God-bothering family trying to get famous. I don't even have words. They both went to loving homes. She's a monster, says Jessica. Hello, they knew and they tried. Yes, Peter. Harmony says, it's very common for certain siblings to be separated. I have my nephew because his brother tried to. Oh, no, it isn't safe. This happens all the time. Yeah. And we don't know what the trauma that they were experiencing was. She has no idea what they did. She just assumes a whole lot of rubbish, yes.
People can't just like hand over their kids to a stranger to then have a few years later the kid be going through the system again and the new mom is basically trying to do what the birth mom did. This poor kid, I can't even fathom. And she deleted everything. So as soon as I posted this, she deleted the post on her Facebook. She deleted the blog, which tells me she knows what she did is wrong.
Who else do you know that deletes stuff? But yeah, I know children that are split up for safety. Sometimes it needs to happen so children's individual needs can be met. Yeah. So she's talking about how she deleted stuff because she knew it was wrong and that she was guilty. Princess Jack says, I lived with my godparents on and off growing up because my mum had bad health. It wasn't through a legal process either. I've reported her videos in the past. YouTube doesn't do anything. I just don't understand how anyone can be like this. I'm so angry at her and sad for that family. No one deserves to be treated like this. Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? How does she know this isn't fostering? This sounds like fostering. This is how my friend ended up with her littlest. It was a child in her community needed a safe home. Fernanda says this is upsetting. She has no respect for other people's privacy. She sounds proud of the fact her post was the cause of this family removing posts. Yes, and also on her YouTube channel, yes, Joe, Queen of Deleting Speaking. Yes, we do have those laws. We do have those laws. It's illegal, says S.C. Johnson. She knows all about deleting. She does, doesn't she?
I can't even fathom. And she deleted everything. So as soon as I posted this, she deleted the post on her Facebook. She deleted the blog, which tells me she knows what she did is wrong. You would not delete the post if you knew what you were doing was right.
There you go. You've heard it. She has no clue. My eldest spent 2 years terrorizing my two youngest. She threatened to make us go away. Oh, wow. We had to put her in temp foster care. Wow. Jennifer. Katie, if they were doing it illegally, they wouldn't be in the system at all. CPS wouldn't know about them. Make up your mind. That's my point, Harmony. She backflips faster than an Olympic gymnast doing a floor routine. Maybe if they got several reports, they might take action. I also left a very strong comment. I'm sure she will delete. She speaks with authority and hurting people believe her. Chinese whispers can be. She doesn't know who the birth mother is, says totally clueless. P.R. says, I just want to go, at her. She deleted some of her social media because of a crazy woman talking trash about her. That's right. And the other thing is, how do we know that the CPS weren't the ones that recommended that he go to another family? She's assuming that this is instigated by, she's assuming that this couple have made that decision. It may not be their decision. She's just made all these assumptions. And I hate the assumptions. She's making a story out of nothing here. So yeah, we're about to. You are about to see me report this video using children as currency. Every time she speaks of another child pain and suffering, she gets views and subscribers. YouTube should put an end to this. Children are not currency. You made it through to the other side. KJ doesn't realise there is a point you have to protect your own kids, or you can lose them to CPS or worse, says Jennifer. I bet they just looked probably Fernando. Oh, wish they would.
You wouldn't delete the blog if you knew what you were doing was right. She deleted both of them because she knew it's wrong. And I just don't know if she's worried now that she's going to get caught. And now I'm worried that this kid is in her custody. Like, what the heck? And what is with these people who use faith
Here we go.
to hide behind? Like, God told me to adopt this child, and this is not my child. This is heaven. This is God's child too.
We're all God's children, Katie. We are all God's children. It boggles my mind how she can speak about another living soul in this matter. It's disgraceful. I am a child of God. Hallelujah. I am a child of God. Amen. No, it tells me that her stance went and caused so much harm they had to delete. That's what happened. She said, oh, no, I'm not saying to report the video. No, that's right. I'm not saying to report the video. You're free to do whatever you like to do. Thank you, Harmony.
No, it's not a year of waiting. It's a power of attorney limit. In the state of Minnesota, you can only sign over temporary custody via a power of attorney for 1 year. It's not a waiting limit. It's just a waiting limit.
Saying, well, social services will be at their door today. Has someone called the authorities? She does that. Does anyone have what we can do? Obviously, no. I just have to just keep calling her out. That's all I can do. I can just keep reporting her, keep being there for the people that she upsets and hurts.
To like hand over your rights for a year. it's not a waiting period. It's literally just a way to, like, if you're in a crisis and you need help kind of thing, that's it. And I don't know if anyone's contacted the authorities. I don't know at all. Like, she deleted all of the posts, but now I can't stop thinking about this kid. And I don't know what to do. Like, how can you use God? How can you say that this is God's child when you adopted this child? And you said that you are his mom and it's your job to protect him. Even if he's doing things that are difficult for you and it's causing issues in your family, you knew this years ago and you still adopted him, and then you brought in 2 more kids and gave birth to them. And the dad is a chaplain for the police department. Like,
so her stands are implying CPS should be called, but heaven forbid if they get called on her. Well, see, I would have thought, as somebody that had been talking about the fact that how stressful it was having CPS in the house and everything, I thought she would be a little bit more sympathetic. Okay, no, that's right. Business KJ. So I would have thought she would have been really sympathetic about the fact that they wouldn't she would be doing everything possible for them not to go through what she would do. Worry about your own child, Katie, says Lee. Would send in emails to YouTube corporate help. We could start a campaign. I'm not sure. I know people have started tagging Team YouTube on Twitter. Needs to apply those events to our own child in life.
who is a chaplain for the police department gonna, like, adopt and then, like, give up the kids? Oh yeah, there's definitely second chance adoptions on Facebook. Yes, I'm well aware of that. I went into that underground during the Micah stuff. Pretty wild. So I don't know. It is. It's like Micah Stoffer all over. And she has a way smaller platform, but at the same time, like, this.
Did you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. Sounds like Toad's yelling. Have a listen. I'll rewind it. I think she has to get the fit of it. Yeah. All right, let's have a listen to that. Have a listen. Sounds like Toad's yelling. Couldn't reach them. He got action by a Twitter tag campaign. Why is it worse? Because he's a chaplain. Bad matches happen to everybody. Let's have a listen.
Pretty wild. So I don't know. It is. It's like Micah Stoffer all over. And she has a way smaller platform, but at the same time, like, this is...
See, she's just, yeah. You heard, hey. Yeah, anyone dirty deleting is always suspicious. I don't want to draw anything in it, but I remember she's a little bit startled.
This is literally a family. But yeah, dirty deleting. I'm just very confused. Like, what kind of safeguards are there? And why do you keep having kids? You know you have a kid. Here's my biggest plea to a family, especially these Christian families that are like saviors. They like use this as like a token of like their godliness, which really bothers me. Like, children are not your virtue. Children are not your calling card for godliness, and they don't make you a more, virtuous person. They're also not an accessory. Why do you continue to have children if you know that you just adopted a child that is high needs and you already have 6 of your own biological children? Do you really need more children if you have 6 of your own biological?
Someone's just said, what was that? Because it was yelling. And the only one that is, am I the only one that's, I feel like, how, yeah, and Joe, you're doing a good job supporting us. Yeah. I was very, as I said, I was very angry when I watched this today. Someone posted something and deleted it. Let's talk about, yes, I know. dirty deleting. KJ is assuming a lot of things about this family. Yes, Poppy Seeds. She is.
Kids, and then you bring in one that has needs, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to keep having kids. It's irresponsible. And then, like, do you really think in the middle of all of this, if this was her biological child, she would be doing this? Would she just be like, oh, I got to give up this kid? It's too much. If it was her biological child, she would not give up on that kid.
Oh, KJ, you have no idea. It is nasty and evil, I have to agree. Sadly, there are not enough people that open their homes to kids. Where should they go? She has no idea. She has no idea about that. I mean, she's a parent of one, yeah. Sometimes it's really hard. I know that when my marriage broke up, but it was just myself and the kids. There were times where I thought my kids would be better off with another family because I couldn't give them what they needed, what they wanted. And here, Hudson, just somebody on Facebook said, did you really need to have a child? You could say all of us are selfish for having children in that case. That's such a dumb argument. I know, Jessica.
Right. No white saviors. It's like a white savior complex. That's what they say, like this complex of like the privileged white people in the United States that feel like they need to save children. It's really disturbing. And I don't think she would give up her child if it was at all.
Jennifer says, yes, KJ, my daughter is my biological child. You have to protect your other kids. If you've done everything you can to protect the innocent one's idiot. Thank you, Poppy Seeds. I only speak the truth. I just know that, when you're having your darkest days, you're trying to survive and cope and put food on the table for your kids and keep a roof over their heads, you begin to wonder whether the best thing for them is somebody that can give them all of that. So yeah, I just something feels heavy here. What is going on? Yeah, I know. Yet she'll shame the Duggars for standing by Josh instead of kicking him to the curb for what he did. Yeah.
Or biological.
No, we're watching KJ video, Gingerly.
I mean, I have a child that's high needs
Oh yeah, here we go. Back to her. So she's just criticizing somebody. She's been reductive. This is so cool. Oh, thank you. KJ does she have a patient? She has no eyebrows, not her lips. I don't know, Kim. Hello, Kim. I haven't seen you for a while. I think we all go through those moments. Joe says, yeah. But for her to say that people wouldn't do it, you would if you gave birth to your child and you couldn't provide for them. If you honestly thought that they could have a better life with somebody else, you would give them up if it was the best thing for the child. Bible says yes. I'm with him. She's a part-time parent of one. Yeah. Well, in the YouTube, she needs to worry about her child. CPS just said to her. So she says, there's one child and has nurses to help. Honestly, it looks like Toad does most of the parents. She's dragging another family that is having to remove an adopted child. You're not alone in ever thinking that. Well, that's right. And so for her to say that no person will do it is incorrect. But you have one child, that's a huge difference. High needs kids do best in one child households because you can get one-on-one with them. Probably.
I have a child that's high needs and behavior issues. You just heard something upstairs where you like threw something and slammed something. I mean, we don't give up on our kid for that. It's just normal. He has autism. It's part of life. And like, how are you going to do this to the kid? Like, you brought him in and you said he could be your kid, and you said he could call you mommy and daddy, and you said that you promised him forever, and you went to the media and you said that he was going to be your forever, and you got public funding, and you made a video on YouTube called My Adoption Story.
Why would CPS be at KJ's? How would people know about that? Because Poppy said she did a video on it. That's how everybody knows about it. She tells everybody. Katie, I have a child in high needs. I have an almost 16-month-old and expecting my 5-year-old gets everything she needs for care and life. She is much better with older kids and learns better. Give up, get wrecked. KJ, self-custody child isn't giving up. Yes. She told us all, and then she had the sheriff at her house just recently as well.
It's disturbing. Like, adopting this child didn't make you feel good, and now that he's, you know, exhibiting behaviors, and I feel bad, but you should have the right.
No, she's not talking about Micah. She's talking about the other one, I think, the current one. I don't know. She's all over the place.
If you went through the improper channels to adopt them, it's clear you didn't have the proper services to help him. Had this child just gone through social services, they probably could have got them the proper counseling that they needed and everything. Instead, they went the roundabout way that probably added even more confusion. No, we're not talking about.
How does she know that they went the roundabout way? Like, oh.
You don't give up on children. It should be against the law. And we need more federal laws to protect these kids. And you shouldn't be advertising your kids for adoption on social media. That should be against the law. She's a dog breeder, you guys. She was like putting her kid up for adoption like she puts her puppies up for adoption. She's a dog breeder. I'll show you.
It's about.
She breeds purebred yellow labs. So she raises these yellow labs and gives them up. So it's like she's rehoming her puppies when she's talking about her kid. This is why states need to have limits for the number of children families have before they adopt. I truly think there should be, because parents that already have 6 kids are already stretched thin. If you already have 6 children and then you bring in a high needs kid, do you think that's going to be beneficial to the family? Do you think that's going to be a situation that will be successful?
I've just done it. I've just lost it, and I've just reported. So yeah. So what do you reckon? So I couldn't watch anymore after that. So she says, don't give up on your child, but she herself hides away from her own child. Yeah. It's pretty yucky, wasn't it? So she compared what they were doing. She compared what they were doing to what they do with dogs. Buyers selling her dogs. All right. So this is, oh no, that's still that one. Right, here is the YouTube one. Okay. What, Kate, really? Yeah, so she was saying there should be a number of limits that you have before you can adopt. Like, you don't know you don't even know the circumstances behind it. This is what I don't understand. Like, we don't know what's going on. All right, so members only. So this is YouTube now. So members only mode is on. Well, I'm gobsmacked. I wonder if KJ would explode if she didn't have internet for a day. I reckon she might. remember this Sunday, she said, was her family day. That makes it very clear. The level of speculation here is right. So now you're going to hear some of the same stuff again. Did you get work done, or is she using it? She was using a filter before. I don't know that you can use a filter on YouTube. And I've got top chat. I realized. Oh no, I've got top chat on. Hope everyone's got live chat. Only 24 in her chat at the moment. It does. I think it gets to about 100 and something. I've got 153. Wow! Hello, everybody. Oh no.
Hi guys. This is totally impromptu, and I don't have any like screenshots that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm just going to tell you that if you want the details, you can go to my Instagram account. And honestly, sorry. My Instagram is becoming like the better place for a lot of information because nothing has to be censored there. I don't have to redact things. Things are just like there. So what I'm going to talk about right now.
So she doesn't need. She's saying she doesn't need to redact anything on Instagram because of censoring. I know you should be redacting stuff.
All of the information is on my Instagram, and you can go to my Instagram by following me, and it's at Without a Crystal Ball. It's actually a really good place for really just in general, you guys, to be able to follow, interact, and all of that kind of stuff when I'm not working on content. I also dumped a ton of stuff about the Duggars today, which we will be getting into later this week. We're going to be doing more of a deep dive into the background and sort of the beliefs of the IBLP. And I've been having a lot of people reach out to me. So thank you if you are from the IBLP or you are a survivor and you have been sharing with me.
This made me laugh. It says, "Hi Scarlett, hi Jew." It was interesting because I was thinking about Saltz's post, and I thought it's funny that someone said hi Jew. So she's got 379 in her chat at the moment. I saw a clip today of where she was criticizing somebody who had 146,000 subs and could only muster 4,000 people into their lives, and I'm thinking she can't even get 500 people into hers. So I'll even pay the filing fee. I'm sure that if they were going to if they wanted a whip around, I'm sure that the community would whip around for court fees. How does she get away with it? I don't know, Jennifer. I really don't know. I think she does because she's enlightened.
To you, thank you for opening up to me. I really appreciate it. Tonight we're going to talk about something to do with, it's like Micah Stopper all over again. And it's making my heart irritated, and I'm really agitated by this. So I apologize if I'm going to be a little bit all over the place here. Scarlett, I've made this members only just because I didn't know if I was going to have any of my moderators here. So Scarlett can share the chat link if you want to join the chat, and you can join by being a member if you want to chat.
So if you're in the chat, you got to join. No, thank you. It's funny how I don't know if I'd have any of my moderators here. She could have had Toad, but she took his wrench away. You're going to see Toad stomp behind her with boxes. I wondered whether he was packing up to move out. Maybe having the child who's high needs makes KJ an enlightened being. If she shared those screenshots on YouTube, she would likely get privacy strikes. So she's preserving monetization of time. Yes, she is. She can dox whoever she wants on Instagram. Apparently so, yes. Plan to create. Pia Bus. Sorry, I missed a few minutes. Had to walk away for the first time ever. That's okay, Pia. You do that. You walk away whenever you like. Toadie's no longer a mother. No, she timed him out, and then when she got him back in, the last time he was in the chat, he didn't have a wrench. Oh, it's frozen up.
So this is all what's going on.
She was just, it was
Earlier
her.
today, and I apologize, I was not ready to go on the camera. This is like totally me, raw, real. My house is an utter mess. I'm just here to like share with you what's going on. So earlier today, I got a message from one of my subscribers who was on Facebook. And they were like, Katie, I was like just in this Facebook group, and there's this woman, and she's like posting.
So now, I think it's hilarious. It's ballistic. Totally not a mod anymore, having been timed out by his wifey. So see whether the story is different this time.
About her kid, and this is not okay. And she's like, it's like Micah Stauffer all over again, and something needs to happen, and I don't know what to do. And I said, well, where was it shared? And they were like, it was in one of my mommy groups. And I said, okay. And I couldn't get into that group, obviously.
Yes, he could not. He did ask for his rent back publicly, and she didn't get it back. She ignored him. Thank you, Ellie R. Thank you very much for your super sticker. Very much appreciated. Snack time for Toad. I bet his favourite snack is his fries. Oh.
Obviously, because I'm not like in that mommy group. And so she ended up giving me the profile of the person that shared the post. So I go to the woman's profile, whose name is Heather, and it's a mother who's adopted a child. And on this adoption, on this public platform, in a public post, mind you, was publicly shared and had like over 100 likes.
That's her justification, is because it was a public post, public. So because she put it on Facebook as a public post, KJ decides that she can share it with all of her 141,000 subs and all her YouTube. Frequent joins doing a great job of keeping Katie in the forefront. So she, you know, I'm trying to do it with dignity and sensitivity as well, but I've actually had to restrain myself a few times tonight. Had to restrain myself. I don't want my mods putting me into timeout.
And had like over 100 likes, had like 37, 40 shares. It had been shared in groups. It was being commented by a lot of like religious folk. And it's like this very like Christian family. They have like 9 children. And she is trying to find a place for her 10-year-old son that she literally just adopted 3 years ago. And she's trying to find a new home for him. And it was like an advertisement for some new family to adopt him. And I was like,
Gingerly, this is the video. So Amanda Pants watched this YouTube video, and this is what's triggered her. So it's going to be very interesting to see her response tomorrow. Oh, I think you're doing a good job of doing this with respect. There is no speculating about the kids in this chat, says Ballistic. Well, yeah, I don't want there to be. And I don't want them to be any speculation about the family, because we don't really know. I'm disgusted by just the very little I've heard. She needs to be shut down. Yeah. If I had more time, I would, you know, read into it more and talk about it more, but I don't.
what am I reading? This is like the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what this is about. And you can go to my Instagram to see what happened. But basically she was just like, you know, I love my child, and I love him so much. And, but part of being his mommy means that he's not really I'm not really his mommy. He's like God's mommy. God is his mommy. He's God's child, and as God's child, I need to protect him. And I'm like,
she didn't say that God is his mummy. So what does her behavior make you want to cry? Someone says, oh no, not again. Michelle says Trady's probably bought some items he does not want the liquidators to get, and he's trying to get her to shut up and stop another lawsuit. How much? Yeah. She'll watch her. Yeah, he'll eventually watch her videos. He will do one day.
What? Okay. So yeah, it's like Micah Stauffer all over again. So she has a Facebook page. She's got a YouTube channel. She's got an Instagram account with like 4,000 or 5,000 people. She doesn't have a huge following, mind you, but she's trying really hard. Like, they do a TikTok, they've got a family, they're trying to do family vlogging. It's clear that they're trying to do some stuff on social media. They've got a name like the Ginifty Crew. They're trying to like,
dear, the shame, hey? Oh, the shame.
you know, be like the next Carissa Collins, you know, that has like 1 million kids and is on Instagram with like 50,000 followers. It's like in the Fundy starting pack.
Someone's jealous. Someone's jealous. Oh, yeah. The children. Oh, yes, I was just reminded, I've got something else to tell you all. So we have this couple in our church. They're in their, they just celebrated 60 years of marriage. They went up to Queensland to visit their daughter, who is, who has breast cancer. And she had a doctor's appointment, and they thought they were going to go spend some time with her, and my computer is messing up. They thought they would get to spend some time with her and be there while she has her treatment. Anyway, they found out today she's only been given a week to live. And if that's not bad enough, this will be the third child that they have lost to cancer. All their 3 children have died of cancer before them in the last 5 years. So it's a pretty bitter pill to swallow. So don't know whether they're going to do the funeral up there or whether they're going to bring her back to Melbourne. But yeah, it is really awful, isn't it? So to watch her speak like this on Mother's Day, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, it is so sad. So they've they were a bit taken back by the news today. So that was, but yeah, their third child. I know they buried their second son like 2 years ago. I think he died of cancer. So yeah, all 3 kids have gone for cancer. Oh. But yeah, and yet they're both doing really well. As I said, they celebrated 60 years of marriage. When's going to be over this Monday? Yeah, she's going to get ripped apart on Monday. She's going to get ripped apart on Monday, I have no doubt. Amanda Pants is going to do a video. Yeah.
That you have a blog and then you start a YouTube channel and you give your 12 family name like a crew or the bunch or whatever. And so I go to the post, and then she has a blog post, a freaking blog post, which, by the way, I did not share. It's now deleted. But the blog post goes into massive detail about this little boy. He's 10. She talks about how she adopted him, and the story is ridiculous. And it tells you like how this all plays out. And then she has a video about his adoption because she celebrated like their 3rd anniversary of their adoption. And she was like advertising the kid like it was a dog. And she's a dog breeder. So I was like, okay, so she's a dog breeder. She breeds purebred yellow labs. She's in South Dakota, and she's got this kid that she's trying to find a home for. And she's basically saying that the behaviors are too much for her.
I thought they lived in Minnesota. They'll be by her side. So that's the only thing, is that they're going to get to spend the last bit of time with her.
She literally just had a kid 6 weeks ago. So all of this stuff is like so much for her, but she's had 2 kids since she adopted this child. And the story for this kid is wild. So she basically says this. She says that like 5 years ago, a friend of hers comes over to her house, or they're at a friend's house, and they're sitting on the deck. And this is on YouTube, mind you. There's a video about this. they're on a deck and they're like talking and they say, oh, we have this kid, my nephew or my nephews are going through something and they need a home. And could you think about maybe taking them? Mind you, she's never met the kids, doesn't know the birth mom, doesn't know the family, doesn't know them at all. She and her husband drive down to Missouri from Minnesota on the southwestern part of Minnesota, right next to South Dakota. They drive south across, like southeast to Missouri.
So just makes you think what you have. I must have fit. Yes, it does, doesn't it, Michelle? Adopted breeds are the hunting dogs. She leaves them in the house with cats. Mirror reflection, Kato. Why is she telling us that they're heading south towards South Dakota? Why is she doing that? Why is she doing that? Oops. Why is she doing that? Just lost everything. All right, here we go.
And they go meet these kids and they take them home, like just meeting them. And the mom signs over a power of attorney to this family because the state of Minnesota has this rule. Like, you can't take custody of a family of a child for more than a year.
Did you see the cat on the table? Look at the kitty cat. Kitty cat, I love kitty cat.
This family, because the state of Minnesota has this rule. Like, you can't take custody of a family of a child for more than a year. So you can only do a power of attorney. So sight unseen, they've just met this family. They take custody of these kids that they know literally nothing about, not a word, nothing. Thank you for becoming a member, Ruby. So they know nothing about these kids, nothing, not a thing. And they bring them home, and it's 2 boys, I and N.
I mean, love and light. She's got a headband on.
That's what I'll just call them on YouTube, I and N. And they find out that I has some more needs than N. And so they decide that I needs to go with someone else.
You're right,
so
Peter.
Immediately upon bringing them home, they decided that they will take N, but I was going to go with a friend. So not only did they bring I and N into Minnesota, sight unseen, having never met the kids, knowing next to nothing about the birth parents.
So, well, at least she's not using their full names here. But Jean's right. Why should they pay for membership on YouTube when she's already done it on Instagram and they can watch it for free?
Birth parents. They also, once N and I get to Minnesota, they separate N and I, and they put I with a friend of hers, and I stays with the friend and is adopted by the friend, and N is eventually adopted by her. But after the year is up, the mom comes up to Minnesota and stays with them for like 4 days. And this is all in their YouTube video. And once they have this conversation with the mom is like, well, I need a little bit more time. They don't really just talk about what's going on with the mom, why the mom needed help, why the mom didn't go through the state, why the mom sought out a stranger online that she had never met to do that.
Oh, now she found the person. Now she's saying that the adoption occurred online. Like, why they would leave her kids with somebody she met online. Like, where's all this coming from? Make it up as you go along. Let's make it up as we go along. Well, that's okay, Sarah Lovestone. There's been some stuff happening in your life too. So, yeah. She's legit cyberbullying this family like me. Yeah. So, okay, JK. So how much does she know about these kids? Nothing, pure speculation. She is Harmony. She's authority in these matters when it's clear she's not. This is why I don't post about my life in any detail online. Chatting in private groups, suddenly you're YouTube famous and people on the other side of the world know who I am. Yes, poppy seeds. We know your poppy seeds. I don't think the story is true as she's telling it, as C. Johnson. In fact, I'm certain it's not. My understanding is it was all done in the proper, through the proper channels. KJ is an absolute mess at this point. I don't see how she has anyone following her. It makes no sense. I hope. Yeah, I've doxed you, poppy seeds. I've doxed you. You're exposed. I think it's projection on her part. There's most, I think she's, yeah, possibly.
This. And eventually they all decide that they're going to just adopt the child. Now, my guess is that because of the time limits in the state of Minnesota, they couldn't extend the 1 year of the power of attorney, so they probably had to adopt. Otherwise, they would have had to give the kid back. Or
and she's referring to him as the kid.
Handed the child over to the state. So they end up adopting him, but they do a fundraiser. So they ended up getting publicity through the local paper in Eccles, Minnesota. There's an article on what's called like the Independent.
So she's just given their location. Good one.
And it has this whole story about this Christian family that has a calling from God to adopt this little boy that needs help, and they just love him so much, and he calls them mommy and daddy, and they just can't wait for this little boy to be theirs, and the little boy and the dad have such a great...
That's nice of you, Harmony. I know that there's some... I know they've been getting a few messages of support. Somebody else has said, someone in EKC, people sucked. They were in the stream. They were family friends, so I've sort of been chatting to them a little bit, but I'm giving them the copies of these videos for they want the videos. So I thought maybe they might disappear if the heat starts to get turned up, because you know what happens when you delete items, you're guilty. Yeah. Saltzy, send them Saltzy.
Relationship, and he really does great with all the kids, and they love him so much, and they do a fundraiser. They do all these different things on, like, they have an email address where they can send donations. They do multiple fundraisers. They do like multiple garage sales. So first of all, they can't even afford an attorney for the adoption because they don't have enough money. They have a small house.
Oh dear, how criminal. They don't have enough. Oh dear, they don't have enough money for a lawyer, and they live in a small house. Oh no, that means they're not suitable parents based on that. I'm being sarcastic, people, just in case you're wondering. But I figured you all know me by now to know when I'm being sarcastic. I'm up to 173 people. Hello, everybody. Hello. Anyone can now find a newspaper and do, yes, that's right, Medusa. To learn 8 hours, 8 weeks. Yeah. I highly doubt they could afford Saltzy, plus Saltzy would have to fund. Yeah, that's true. Because of Twitter right now. Yeah. Oh, they are Christians, so I'm guessing that's the problem. Kimberly, your excitement is so cute, Joe. Thank you. Well, I've just lost a few viewers. I just lost Katie. Do you know I actually had a dislike before I even started my stream? So hello to Katie Joy. Hello to Todd. Hello, everybody. All the Katie stands. Hello. I want to make sure that I say hello to you all.
I don't even know, like, they don't even have a large house. They only have, like, a couple bedrooms. And they take the kid in. They end up getting the adoption done. The adoption is done through a judge, and they get custody of him.
Hang on. On Instagram, she said it was done under the table. If the custody was done with a judge, it was done legally. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. We go, Christopher. Yes, we're going on a troll hunt. We're going to catch a big one. I'm not scared. Maybe early risers. Did she not say in the Instagram that it was an under the table deal? It's hello, Robin. Hello, Clarissa. Good morning. Oh, that's all right. Sorry about that. She's so loud. KJ's trying to make it as truthful as possible on YouTube, unlike Insta. How come more harm can come to her on YouTube than Insta? Well, that possibly is true.
This big party for him, and they're really excited. And then suddenly, 3 years later, she's like going onto Facebook trying to find a new home for him. And let's just throw in the fact that she sells plexus. So she is like in a multi-level marketing company, and she's using the kid's adoption as a selling point for her to like recruit people. Like, I'm a mom of an adopted kid, and
sounds like she's really jealous, actually. But anyway,
she's constantly like writing all of these long posts on her Facebook about this kid and all the situations that this kid has gone through. She doesn't do the same thing about her other kids. Nothing. Like, you don't see the same type of posts about her biological kids. It's only like about this kid. And then it's like now all of a sudden she has this new baby. So she had a baby 6 weeks ago. So she takes in these two boys. She ends up adopting the little boy, N. And she then proceeds to have 2 more kids. And she's had another child. And as of December 18th, she did this really long post on her Facebook where she was basically telling like everyone about how, you know, it's been really tough and they've been going through some things and it's been really hard. And mind you, it's not easy, especially this kid has gone through a lot of changes in his life.
did we say another Micah Stuffer type of situation? I think it's completely different. I don't know how you can compare the two, really. They're completely different situations.
He's probably had a lot of things happen in his life.
Yeah, another member.
All of that. And so then she's like talking about how it's a wonderful, like, as hard as it is, she loves him and she's so glad to be his forever mommy.
So Toad's just made his appearance. Okay, watch.
It like was so like Micah all over again. And I was like, how is this possible? How does Facebook allow these kind of posts? And then she's got a full blog on her blog written about it with all of his information.
My Facebook is only for friends only. Make your Facebook visible to friends only. No need for strangers like KJ to read through your life like that. Everything of mine's locked down now. How does she know their financial situations? More assumptions. I guess she must not believe in karma, says Robin. Okay.
And basically telling people like he's up for adoption to the highest bidder.
You know, see, he's walking around with the box. See, he's walking around with the box.
We're praying for you to come get him because we can't handle. And it's like, why did you keep having kids? Why did you adopt him in the first place? I don't get it. So I post the stuff on my Facebook. Thank you, Taylor, for becoming a member. I post the stuff on my Facebook, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. How does someone like post something like this publicly on Facebook? And how is this post still up, first of all? It was like up 20 hours at this point. And the comments were like, oh, you're such a good mom. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to find.
What, say with Toad stuff? Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Doesn't she still sleep in a bed with her 8-year-old son? Who is she to be judging anyone? Yeah. She's so miserable when she gets new members. It's weird. I know. You see what I look. Oh, man, 175. You see what I like when I've got people watching me. Maybe she wants people speculating that he's moving out. Well, I wondered whether he's packing his stuff. Yes, I do allow you, and I've said that I'm happy for you all to vent as well. I understand this is pretty tough. What would be the option to report this on IG? There is a report function on there. But this one's YouTube. So this one's a YouTube one. So this was on without a crystal ball. I'm assuming it's still there.
Share this with you. I'm going to see if I can find.
I recorded it, so I didn't have to give a review.
Want me to take the kid? So you're going to like go around. This is why we need laws, you guys. So that kids cannot be transferred to strangers that already have 6 children and apparently want to have like 800 kids, and then use God as their calling card for saying, well, God told us that we needed to adopt this child. So here's what I don't get. God told them to adopt this child, and now God is telling them to give up this child. Why would God do that? Like, that doesn't sound like something God would do. I don't feel like God would make that decision. I don't feel like God would be like, yes, you need to take this kid, and then no, now you need to give him back.
I keep hearing people keep talking about the fact it was married first before. I have no idea, Jamie. I've had a few people talk about it. I didn't realize KJ was the mouthpiece of God now. Yes, I sat there in silence because I was trying and process what she was saying to come up with an answer, and I couldn't come up with an answer. Yeah, I know. She doesn't believe in God, so now she's say what God would or wouldn't do. That's right. I don't. If someone gets too many reports on their videos, will they end off kicked off? I don't know what happens if they get too many reports. I think they just get suspended for a while. Remember, she did have that ban on Instagram before. She couldn't do lives for a month.
No. And now she's saying that he's God's child. He's not really her child. So you can't call him your child and then call him God's child. And then say that you love him and need to protect him, but then also say you're going to give him up. And then she kept saying, I'm not giving him up.
Again, bringing dog breeding into the option arena is all right. So Poppy C says transfer the kid to a family kid. Isn't this the family that adopted the kid, not had him transferred to them? Can KJ keep her story straight with a side of toxin atheism mixing? I think the first wife is not based on reality. People are just trolling from what you can tell. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a bank transfer, is it? Yeah. Well, see, as I said, it's a completely different audience now, and the story is different. I think most of us don't look into that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'm not giving him up, but you are. He literally just like posted him like for sale on YouTube, on Facebook. She literally made a post and it was basically like for sale, 10-year-old boy. And these types of things happen all the time on Facebook. And I just happened to catch this one, and she deleted.
And she said, I happened to catch this one. It's funny that Facebook. Oh, really? She's shut down on Facebook. see Amanda's chat later. I'll give you a shout. Yeah, Amanda Pants is going to address it. She makes it sound like trafficking. Well, one of her Instagram posts, she's hashtagged human trafficking. So that's her point. She's trying to do. She's trying to make it sound like human trafficking. Literally, basically, allegedly. Yeah, I've seen it a few times as well. I have no idea.
Deleted Facebook post. Like, it's your responsibility once you adopt a child to
Can you hear Toad banging in the background?
care of that child. That is your child. You don't get to give up on the child just because the kid doesn't fit your needs or life became too hard. And it even makes me more sad that there's literally people that are God-fearing that are like on her post basically saying, I'm praying for you. I'll find you. I'll find you another God-loving family for this child. And you guys, the husband.
Like, people are saying the police need to get involved. This is awful. Thank you for covering this story. Right, now here we go. Now she's about to talk about the husband. And as I said, she put his Facebook page on her Instagram.
Is a chaplain. He's a chaplain for the police department. So he literally is a chaplain for the police department. She homeschools all of her kids, which that makes me wonder, like, if all the kids are being homeschooled and you have a kid that's already high needs, like, how great of an opportunity was that for the kid? Like, was the kid's needs being met when you have 9 kids? Yeah, she homeschools all of them. They moved from Minnesota to South Dakota. The husband is like a pastor and a chaplain. Like,
He's not actually. I personally think every woman that doesn't child should go to another family and happy for the rest of its life. Oh, she's trying to dox. I think she's trying to dox the family. I think she means yeah, she's trying to cause drama for the family. But I think he runs. You're homeschooling, KJ. What do you have to hide? Well, that's why. And not all of her kids are in school. Didn't you just say that she had a baby 6 weeks ago? So the baby's not being homeschooled.
how is this a good situation for them? And yes, he works for the police department. And he's literally like trying to sell his kid on Facebook. And I'm just like, I'm dumbfounded. And she deleted the post on Facebook after I shared it, which is good, but that doesn't change. Like, it's fine that it's like deleted because now not more people can't see it, but at the same time, it's not good because the situation is still happening. You know what I mean? Like, there's still this little boy now, and this is happening to probably thousands of kids right now out in the United States.
Oh no, she did not. Yes, she did say that. She did say that, but yeah. Well, KJ's not liked on Facebook. I know she's banned from all those things. I'm not having mental. Well, now I'm having mental images of a baby crawling class. Oh yeah. So this is treating the kids like they're dogs, and the other night she's literally as if there was a post with a picture of the kid and like 5,000. Well, that's what she's saying. Disappointing that take off having 5 managers staying on your character apparently in the 21st century. Yeah, I don't know. I think people are just trying to start rumours. Maybe, do you think they would be breaking laws when the police personally know them and their family? Try again. Did anyone of KJ's that they don't have to pay to watch it? Oh, the in-laws came from a family of 13. Everyone of my in-laws came from a family of 13. Every one of them are college-educated doctors, lawyers, professors. The big families can't maintain their kids, in her words. Oops. Ray. KJ needs to stop talking about people when she herself admitted she didn't want to be a mum and how she would sell her son on the black market some days. She has no room to talk. Did she really say that, Ray? She's Pia, my mum just called me. She basically said, I want to make her disappear. Wow, Pia. Is there anyone that... Oh, no one's upset. It's all right. Sometimes chat goes on and you miss conversations. It's okay.
Well, it's like they're not really selling the kid. I have all of the screenshots, like everything. I have the screenshots of the blog post. I have screenshots of the Facebook post. I have screenshots of everything. So I don't understand. I just don't. It's all on my Instagram, so you can see a lot of it. But you'll see that like she's used this adoption to like amp up her plexus. She's really into like utilizing her I'm a godly mom. I'm gonna help you get the pink drink. She was literally only a few months ago bragging about buying an Audi, a convertible. Now, mind you, it wasn't a brand new Audi, so it was probably like, I don't know. I don't buy an Audi. I've always wanted to have an Audi, but my husband's always like, we are not buying an Audi because car shops never have the parts for them and they're super expensive to repair.
Did she just say that her husband will lay down the law? That goes against her other talk the other night. Does she realize some people will see I have screenshots as a threat to release information? Oh, that's, yeah. I thought they were poor KJ. Well, that's what she said a minute ago, wasn't it? Isn't that what she said? She knows nothing. Well, as I said, Rick, if she comes into the chat, she's in your corner. You're gonna have words with her.
Like he's always like, we're not getting a luxury car because they're like they never have the parts if you have a problem. And it's true. They never have healed her, which then makes me wonder like what kind of medical care are the kids getting if they're using Plexus, because it's like sugar in a water. It's like Micah mixed with Jill Rodriguez. So it's like it's Micah Rodriguez.
Oh. You have to lay the smackdown, says Rick. Oh, poor Rick. I've been missing the whole... Oh, yeah. She clearly learnt nothing from the whole exercise. Whereas me, yeah, she hasn't. The story, I don't know. I'm on the auto defaults to capitals. All right.
That's who we have tonight. So what is it about these like Christian? Yes, Plexus. It's true, Elisa. It's true. Plexus. Plexus cured her gut and it made her lose weight. And she's like, how do you use your platform to get attention for having this kid and then turn around and then use your platform to get rid of the kid?
Yeah, well, Rick's got to give her that talk too, Jessica. He's got to give her the birds and the bees talk. She's the greatest at talking about subjects she knows nothing about, says Will Glum. Hello, Will. Welcome. Rick would have to be you because she blocked me, so I wouldn't be able to see if you... Oh, yes. Well, that's true.
The internet has not the adoption laws have not become, it's just a mess. It doesn't make sense to me that in the United States you can just sign over the rights to a stranger without anybody at all. Just a
what do you think adoption is? Does she not understand what fostering and adoption is? Christian KJ, you're doing the same on your platform. We're calling it as we see it, solely my mission. Perhaps. Oh, it is very sad. You know. So she doesn't understand why somebody would sign over their child to go to complete strangers. Seriously? Really? Oh, let me just rewind that just slightly.
And then around and then use your platform to get rid of the kid. The internet has not, the adoption laws have not become, it's just a mess. It doesn't make sense to me that in the United States you can just sign over the rights to a stranger without anybody at all. Just
no, actually you sign over to the state, don't you? And then the state signs over to somebody else. I'm just shaking my head. I'm just shaking my head at the moment. My head's going to fall off. I can't believe it. I think she's talking about direct rehoming rather than adoption or fostering. There's a big difference. But it seems that I don't know. It's amazing for also in the shops. Okay, so they're not just MLM anymore. Am I allowed to have a grudge? Am I the only one who would rather have a person give up a child with special needs system or back to system? You can't care for them and keep them and mistreat and neglect them. But again, that I don't. She's talking about adoption, I think. Thank God for the people who sign up for strangers. Yes. I feel like she's making these videos so her subscribers will call and report them.
paper. Just paper. I see a bunch of people following me on Without a Crystal Ball 2. But if you want to see the screenshots, it's on Without a Crystal Ball, not Without a Crystal Ball 2. My backup account, I don't post anything on. It's literally just there because there was a period of time when my Instagram was getting constantly reported by the trolls that I was afraid that it was going to get taken down in air. So I needed to have the backup in case.
Constantly reported by the trolls. It wasn't because you were having horrid content. Yes, thank you, Jean. You are not alone with that. I think it's hard to. Sarah Lordstone that says she's going to judge these people before anyone knows the facts. I know it wasn't trolls, honey. Those dirty trolls. Oh. It's literally just because my situation changes daily. Exactly. Why? That's why she put the Facebook pages up yet. And that's why the husband's Facebook page has been slammed with comments. I've been a foster parent. I could say a lot, but it's so frustrating to listen to this unexperienced person in it. Yeah. Katie, are you watching it, Jean? Remember me? I'm the one who apologise for the nasty things you said about me. Yeah. We'll keep asking. We'll keep calling her out.
So The Without a Crystal Ball 2 is just my backup. If you want to see the screenshots, it's at Without a Crystal Ball on Instagram. And that's been a really good place because I posted a bunch of stuff about the Duggars and the baits and stuff around like going into more of a deep dive, which is what you guys said you really liked yesterday, was that the deep dive we did on the IVLP. So there'll be a lot more of that coming because there's a lot. I have a person that's from the IVLP that literally left like 10 years ago, but worked under Bill Gothard and was like his lackey. And he is like helping me so much. Like, he's helping me go through these posts and understand from the IVLP, like what they're thinking.
He's just added another source. The hypocrisy of KJ. Oh, there's 2 thumbs down. Oh, that's all right. KJ can't poke Billy. She has been bullied. It possibly could be Will.
And what this means, so that when I explain it to you, that I'm not explaining it to you wrong, because it's like he explained it to me that it's super important that when I'm giving you guys this information that I am as credible as possible. Otherwise,
what, you've not been credible in this stuff? How is that direct rehoming possible? I mean, the kid should have a legal guardian, right? Is it not against the law? Jenny, I don't know how it works. I would have thought it would have had to have gone. I thought it would have gone. It would have had to have gone through the authorities. Harmony says she's a troll since she was. A TOS is terms of service, Jean.
the people that are in the IVLP will say that I'm not credible and that I'm wrong, and so then therefore they'll discredit me and say that I'm spreading lies and misinformation. So he's been helping me with that, so that I'm as accurate as possible.
Yeah, that was right at the start, all the Saltzy stuff. So yeah, you probably just missed it. It was just his Twitter accounts.
But in this case, this is a mess. So I just want to put this like caveat out there to fundamentalists. Like, when you already have 1 million kids, please don't adopt one that's high needs and then keep having kids. It's irresponsible. It's not fair to the kid that you're bringing into the house. When you bring in a child that's not from your house, that has a lot of history, you need to dedicate your time, energy, and resources to that child, as hard as it is. But once you've made that commitment to that child, adding more chaos by adding more kids is only going to make the transition harder, especially if they have attachment issues. If you bring in new babies with a child that already has attachment issues, they're going to feel neglected and abandoned again. And it's so odd to me that like all the issues start when she starts having new kids. It's like Micah Stauffer. She did the exact same thing. She had the new baby and then suddenly she had to get rid of Huxley. Can't stand it. Yeah, it's a savior complex.
But the thing is, we don't know what has happened. We don't know what the situation is. They simply give the adopted kid away to another family. Don't worry about legal. Got many families never even mention. With only one child and no adoption history, says Ray Ray. Hello, police. Wife life.
And I can't stand that they try to go around the system. It bothers me. The reason why this child probably is struggling is because he probably doesn't have the resources, because she didn't use the adequate. She probably didn't go through the right channels to begin with. So she
hang on. You said that they went through a judge and it was all official. So how could they have not gone through the right channels? Hang on. You can't change the narrative now. Oh, sorry. Oh, wow, Michelle.
So they didn't go through the state, which had the child been through the state, they would have provided.
They did go to... I don't know the family she's talking about, Laurie. I have heaps of intel out there on this practice. Okay, so she said that they went through a lawyer to a judge, made the adoption legal. Now she's saying that they didn't do it properly. How? Can someone explain to me how? Yes, they thought the way I said. Who would it? I'm jealous of all the degree she must have. How have we changed now? Tracy's short-circuited. I know, my mind's just blown. The day she adopts a child, she's qualified to speak of this. So she's now saying that they didn't follow the correct procedure. They didn't ask for KJ's approval. Well, that's obvious, Rick. All YouTubers, which is this only, yeah, all about the money. Obviously, KJ is right, and we're not Galaxy Brain.
Stand it. Yeah, it's a savior complex. And I can't stand that they try to go around the system. It bothers me. The reason why this child probably is struggling is because he probably doesn't have the resources, because she didn't use the adequate, she probably didn't go through the right channels to begin with. So she didn't use it, they didn't go through the state, which had the child been through the state, they would have provided the therapy and the medical insurance and everything so that the kid could have gotten help. But because they took the back road,
what is it where they you can't now change the story now.
that kid missed out. All right, so I'm just going to see if you guys have any questions, and then I'm going to be
No,
done.
I have questions. Oh, I have questions. I don't know that you want to answer. In your Instagram live.
Yeah, he's never been in the system, and she was very, very clear to point that out. She was like, he's never been in the system. He's not a part of the system. So, like, he doesn't exist in the system. And
that's not what she said. There goes through expecting KJ to think logically when she only thinks. So, he's totally moving out. Well, that was my question, Sarah. That was my question, because he had all these boxes. You don't get... Makes you... you don't get it, KJ, because it's none of your business. Please take notes out of other people's business. What makes you think you're qualified to handle it? If the world has questions. If this family are rehoming, I believe they are going through the proper authorities, Belinda Paul. She showed on her Instagram live, she actually showed the post, and it did actually state that about the knows the details on his family lives. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm saying in this case, it seems she's barking up the wrong tree. I'm thinking he could probably, oh yeah, he probably could actually.
System, and that's a problem. Like, the system should probably know he exists now. And the fact that she deleted everything tells me that, like, she doesn't want the system to find him. And I feel like the system should know he exists. Now, I don't advocate for calling anything. Like, I'm feeling like there was enough people that probably did something before I even stepped in. But this is just something that we need to, like, talk about as a whole. All right. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Tomorrow morning we will have more, but if you want to see the screenshots, there's like the screenshots of the blog. I'll post what she posted for the blog, but I'm really going to have to like clean up some of the stuff that she put in there because I don't want to put anything out there that is, she put a lot of stuff in there that I don't think should be out there. So I'm going to like censor all of that, but you can just see what she said in there and like how she was like trying to get more kids, more people interested in this child. So long story short, you adopt a child, it is your child forever. When you adopt a child, you adopt every part of that child. You don't just adopt the good, you also adopt their baggage. And when you take that baggage on and you make the...
It's baggage now, people. Baggage. Yeah, they had a lawyer. They're working with a lawyer.
Meant to make that child your child. They are not a secondary child. They are not a giveaway child. They are not the give up on the child because the child has too much trouble. You had this child for 3 years before you had the choice to adopt. You had this child for 2 years before you adopted him. So you had a good idea who this child was before you made this choice. You can't claim ignorance. You can't claim you didn't know because you knew. And you also knew in the middle of all of that he had a sibling that had issues, and you also knew within all of that you were going to add more kids. And then you were going to promote we have a big family because you want to have a TV show because thanks to the Duggars, everyone with a big family thinks they can be famous for just procreating, which, by the way, there's really nothing amazing about having 1 million kids. Really, when you have 1 million kids, it means that the kids are raised by the siblings. And I've talked to 4 people now from the IBLP that have all come from humongous families who have all told me my mom and dad did not raise us, my siblings raised us. And how the moms hand the kids off to the 7-year-olds to raise the kids. So if you need to rely on everyone else to parent your children, you have too many kids. If you need to rely on
Oh boy. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have laughed like that. Oh, I just thought, what? If you need other people look. Oh boy.
have 1 million kids, it means that the kids are raised by the siblings. And I've talked to 4 people now from the IBLP that have all come from humongous families who have all told me my mom and dad did not raise us, my siblings raised us. And how the moms hand the kids off to the 7-year-olds to raise the kids. So if you need to rely on everyone else to parent your children, you have too many kids. If you need to rely on people to do your laundry and to build your house and to give you handouts and grift your way through life, and you have 12 kids, you have too many kids. I have not checked my Instagram, Missy, so I'll see if I can find it. I don't answer all of my Instagram messages. I'm almost done. I'll check my Instagram. If you are someone from the IBLP, I have a YouTube doppelganger. Maybe I do. All right, I'm going to be done for now, but check out my Instagram at Without a Crystal Ball, where you can see all of the screenshots, and I'm going to redact a bunch of stuff, and I'll post the blog that she posted.
So you did redact the stuff.
And I don't know what the end goal here is. I really don't. I just had to talk about this because I wanted to bring awareness again to the fact that we need more regulations, because this kind of stuff continues to happen on Facebook, and it's not okay.
Did I hear right? My mum and dad had buy us groceries sometimes and takes. Yes, that's what she just said, Jessica. If you need people to do stuff for you, you've got too many kids. So there you go. There you have it. What do you reckon? So on her Instagram account, she's got crime. She's done hashtag crime, human trafficking, child trafficking, underground adoption. The fact that he works for the police department, I'd be very surprised they're doing anything underhanded. Authorities involved in order for a new adoption has to go through the court, so it's just the same as every other adoption. Well, I actually was reading that I was reading today that 135,000 adoptions take place in the US every year, and between 1% to 5% of them don't work out. I'll ask the kids which one wants to go. I have teenagers now, so find KJ updates I'm using so they will love it. My son just rolls his eyes. Yeah. So I'm just really sad for the family, because yeah, I was told that not only that people are trying to track them down, and I don't think that that's right. Nobody should be, as I said, I don't want any hate towards this family. We don't know the circumstances of what's behind it. From what was said, it was very traumatic. And if you do happen to read the Instagram, go to the Instagram and you read the story of what the mother has written, you'll discover that she talks about some of the hardest times of her life where she's questioned herself, and that it's heartbreaking. So it's not somebody that has just gone, we don't want this child. From my interpretation. In my interpretation. Innocent. I just find it really, really, really sad. That's all I can say. And as I said, we don't know. I don't know what's happened. We don't know what the situation is. For all we know, Child Services could have suggested it. And again, we don't know why the brothers were separated. But again, they were separated. 6 kids, and then my kids had to raise their siblings. My youngest 8. 19, 23, 24. It's so mad. That's the thing. Her false reporting is dangerous with the amount of following she has. She had any thought. Well, that's right. Why didn't she call the authorities? Okay, so I've got some bad news for you all. Tomorrow night is my last live for about a week. I'm going away for a week. I'm going on a holiday. There'll be lots of, I'll be posting lots of videos, but I won't be live for a week. I don't know. I might be able to get on a quick live, but I don't know. But from tomorrow, if I'm not on, don't panic. I'll have to go catch up with you. See, you totally do this. I like the default position here is not to judge this family based on the word of, yeah, that's right. We don't know the facts. We don't know the facts. And yay. I know, I don't know the last time I went on a holiday. Oh, you're jealous? Yeah, I was going to say, I'm only going to Sydney. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know that information, Belinda. According to KJ, it's illegal, but then she said that the adoption was illegal, that it was under the table. So I don't know. My children aren't coming. Actually, my daughter's house sitting for my sister, and my son didn't want to come. He didn't want to come, and so because he's an adult now, he's going to stay home. I've just had to stock the fridge up with stuff that I asked him what he wanted. He wanted bacon, eggs, ham, and some frozen pies he can put in the microwave. So yes, and I'm going to Sydney, so I know that Good Friday I'm going to Taronga Zoo. I last went to Taronga Zoo when I was 2 years old. And then Easter Monday I'm going to the Royal Easter Show in Sydney, which I've never been to the Royal Easter Show. And of course we didn't have the show. Well, there was no show in Melbourne last year where I live, and it's going to be the first time I'm going to the Royal Easter Show. So yes, so I'll be taking lots of footage for you to have a look at. So, and yeah, Saturday, yeah, probably party at Joe's. Probably. I'll come and I'll clean up the mess. I said to him, you've got one thing to do while I'm gone. The rubbish bin has to go out in the street to be emptied Sunday night. Do you think you can do that? He just looked at me and I said, well, if it doesn't get emptied, they only do bins every fortnight here. A week without you, I'm already in a panic, says Win Whispers. I might set the videos to go at my normal time so you've got something to watch when I start. I might leave that to my editor to do. Cool. Yeah, I haven't been to. So in Melbourne, we have the Melbourne Zoo, and then we have the Werribee Open Range Zoo, which is literally an open range zoo. You get to sit in these buses and you just drive through. Like, they've tried to keep it as natural as possible. And like sometimes you get the hippopotamus that sits on the road and you have to sit and wait for the hippo to move. It's in his best interests after a party. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. And his sister's back home on Sunday. And then I'm back home on, I think, Wednesday. I think I'm getting home. So I'm gone for about a week. So, and then I have a literature review due on Sunday. So anyway, I will catch you all. Thank you all for spending the time with me. I'm sorry that it was a heavy topic, but we need to discuss this, and we need to say that this is not on. We cannot just judge people based on what we see on the internet. I'm sure it's a little bit more complex. And the other thing is, from what I can work out, they're Christians. I don't know that they're fundies. So she's just classed them in the fundy basket, which I again is wrong. You just can't put everybody into the same basket. Anyway, I will catch you all tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a pre-vacation. Well, see, if she doesn't behave while I'm gone, I'm going to have to interrupt my holiday. And I won't be very happy. That's right. She'll call me a bad parent because I'm leaving my son at home. He's 18. He's an adult in Australia, and like he can do everything. Yeah, thank you for having the respectful chat. That was really good. And yeah, you need to talk about it. So watch out for Amanda Pants because she's going to do a live at some stage. And I know that she is very triggered by it. And she will be reacting. You've told me to ignore KJ. No, stay on vacation. Maybe I need to have Harrison run the channel while I'm away. You should hear what he's got to say about KJ. All right, I'll catch you all later.